surprise here. There's rain in Seattle as we're off to CenturyLink Field to link up with our broadcast team of Brandon Guyton and Charles Davis.
Trip to the Northwest is really complete without a little rain, and we're going to get plenty of it here at CenturyLink Field in Seattle. A minute or so ago, it was the veteran leader of this Seattle secondary, Cam Chancellor, firing up the Seahawk crowd that's in its usual full roar as he and his mates get set to go head-to-head with the Pittsburgh Steelers. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Guyton. Charles, you look at the Seahawks team as they get ready here. They've got to be pleased with the start to this season. Obviously, a perfect 3-0.
3 good quality wins, too. It's got people in the locker room excited. They're thinking that this could be their year.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Steelers, they come in 0-3 and in desperate need of a win.
And as a team, you start to feel a little bit snake bit. They need something good to happen right now so they know it's not just them. They think they have the makings of a good team.
And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. So the Steelers offense getting set for their first drive. They're led onto the field by a man who needs no introduction, Ben Roethlisberger.
And it's funny how we always talk about how analytics are starting to creep into the game. One analytic that's been there for a long time, teams that start 0-3 usually don't make the playoffs. So we know one quarterback today that's determined to end that slide right now. It's not impossible, but this is a must-win for him and his team.
They'll throw on first down with Roethlisberger. And a quick throw here, that's complete. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. And the big boys up front in the trenches, what do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Second down, Roethlisberger. The Seahawks, here's their defensive lineup.
Michael Bennett may have missed 5 games in 2016, but still led his team in tackles for loss with 14.
And how does his pass rush help the secondary? Because I know it does.
Oh, it helps it in a big way because now the quarterback who has a clock in his head, that clock has to accelerate because they always think Michael Bennett is coming. That means you don't have to cover him for very long.
Third play here, this opening drive as they're up against a 3rd and 5. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. On the left side, it's McDonald. And he's out of bounds, able to take this one up to the 35. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Very tough spot here for the offense to start. On first down, Wilson. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And he'll get it up to the 12-yard line here. Give him 7 on the play. And it'll be second down. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So, as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys coming off of the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often. If they're going to get a first down out of this, they're going to have to earn it because there's been tough going in the interior there. And here we are on 3rd and 1. Be prepared. Brace yourself. There'll be some contact going on.
And he will have the first down as he's up to his 17-yard line. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
That's a tremendous group effort there because when you talk about offensive lines, the best ones, talk about guys that play in harmony, in sync, and getting things done, and they did that on that play.
Yeah, especially on 3rd and 1. Got to be in sync, and they were. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on 1st down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run. And it's hauled in by Nick Vanette. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
The completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
They run with a power back. Rawls. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
They tried to run right into the teeth of the defense on 3rd down, but looked like those teeth were pretty sharp.
They were having absolutely none of it. Stuffed him for a loss.
Yeah, couldn't get any leverage up front and move people aside in order to run the ball.
A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And a 3 and out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out with a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down. First carry for James Conner. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. I'm no offensive mastermind, but of all the guys on the field to block, you might want to stop him.
Look, I've got a very simple rule. An unblocked defender is usually your best defender, and he ended up making the play there.
He's going deep for Brown. And a shot taken on 3rd down, unsuccessful. 4th down now. And this passing game, this whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Throwing now, Wilson on 1st down. Pressure comes, and the Steelers take him down. Stephon Tuitt in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. A few issues here on the offensive line. Apparently, he got sacked 5 times last week. They got to him here in the first quarter.
And I would think that running the ball would be paramount here because it's a different team they're facing, but they want...
And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line. Javon Hargrave in there to drop him, and sacks on 1st and 2nd downs are going to lead to a 3rd and long. Wilson of the Seahawks looking for something big following the sack. It's 3rd and long here. Off the play fake to Rawls. Wilson looking for Baldwin, intercepted. Sean Davis with a pick. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line. They told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense. that the other defense is rated higher than them. You going to let that happen, guys? Is that how we're going to play? And they responded to the challenge.
And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
They stay on the ground. Here's Connor again. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Every year I go to the combine and marvel at the speeds that linebackers are running nowadays. They run like DBs. And let's face it, they know how to finish plays too. Eyes up, head up, run right through them.
On 3rd down, Roethlisberger. He gets it to Brown, complete. And he has the first down before he's tackled at the 5. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe needs some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up 2nd down. So they're on the 5-yard line here, 2nd down and goal. And he's going to get him about 3 yards closer. He's down to about the 2.
And Brad, they went to a nickel defense, and that's a surprise this close to the goal line, because ordinarily you use the back end of the end zone, the sidelines as extra defenders, and you want bigger people on the field to try and help against the run.
And they'll come up looking to keep this drive moving. This offense so far on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. They're looking at a 3rd and goal here. They'll try to run it. This is Connor. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. A great play there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Steelers are able to strike for 6. Boswell on now to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And out now come the Seahawks. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
Now Wilson on 2nd down. Dorsett making the catch. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
And he fires one, but incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They've got to find a way to bring those 2 elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
A 40-yard punt, no return, and possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. It's the 2nd quarter. His team has the lead, but I think he's hoping for a little bit more production out of himself.
We often talk about preaching patience to a runner when things are a little bumpy in the early going, but we have to do the same thing with the offensive line. They can't wait to halftime to make the adjustments. They have to do it from series to series. So those surface tablets come into play. Check out what the defense is doing and see if they can find a better way to run it.
So they search for that patience here now. Again, it's Connor. Nowhere to go that time. Might have gotten a yard up to the 25.
Back-to-back runs, I'd say that encompassed maximum effort for minimal gain.
Minimal yardage, and now they're going to need something more than minimal on this play coming up. From the gun on third down, it's Roethlisberger. Open man, Smith-Schuster, it's complete. And he'll be knocked down sideways. They get 9 yards there, and they get a first down.
All right, let's just go ahead and walk through this one pretty easily, right? Blast off the line of scrimmage, get downfield to a certain point, usually around 8 to 10 yards, turn around and make sure the quarterback sees your numbers and set yourself up for the pass.
A well-executed curl route by Charles Davis. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. Pittsburgh getting 16 yards there and also a first down. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback who has to slide and find open space to throw.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it is going to be 15 yards.
Well, they've been practicing goal line offense all week. Let's see if they're able to capitalize here. And now here's a carry heading left. And he gets halfway home from the 4 down to the 2-yard line. Looking at this now, you got a couple more cracks here this close. Sneak it.
I don't think you even go into a huddle. Just line up, snap it, and fall in behind those guys into the end zone.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he pushes forward but comes up short of the goal line as he'll get a yard down to about the 1.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
On 3rd and 1, it's Roethlisberger. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Vance McDonald, his first touchdown on the year. And the Steelers find a way to stretch their lead. Well, it was 3rd and 1. I was expecting runs, so much for that. They pass it, they score it.
That had the feel of the head coach telling the offensive coordinator, you've got 4 downs here. We're going to go for it on 4th down unless there's a disaster on 3rd. Go ahead and take a shot if you want to. And he gratefully accepted the opportunity and did exactly that. If they didn't get it there, that had the feel that they would come back and try.
The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Oh, the rookie nearly had the pick. Probably should have had it. 3rd down now.
Well, one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. 3rd and long. It's Wilson. And he locates Luke Wilson. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
2nd and 10 now, Wilson. And that'll be incomplete. The intended target, Doug Baldwin, and it's third down.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
On third down, Wilson. He finds his man, Baldwin. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Offense.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Throwing on third and long. Wilson. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. And a fair catch called for and made just inside the 35-yard line. So a minute 55 to go in the first half. Back to CenturyLink Field after this. Throwing now, Roethlisberger on first down. Open man right side is Smith-Schuster, complete. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Here we go.
Now Roethlisberger to throw on second down. Quick hitter here, it's complete. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
Yeah, when we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march off another 15 against your squad.
Roethlisberger will throw. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And now prior to this 3rd and 1, we're going to get a timeout here as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. The Steelers on 3rd down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against?
Encroachment, defense.
And he got a little aggressive too early.
And he did, wanting that quick takeoff as the ball was snapped, but I think sometimes those big guys on offense, they're pretty cagey too, right? They make those little sudden moves or those little subtle moves that get you to jump.
Here's Roethlisberger. And he takes this down to about the 2 before going out of bounds. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and that'll bring up second down. They'll run it now out of the gun. brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this first half. And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground. Possible run anticipation here as the D-line sandwiches together. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
Encroachment, defense.
So the pigskin will move from the 2 down to the 1.
And I have not met an offensive line yet that doesn't think they can get it in from the 1-yard line on a running play.
Roethlisberger will hand to Connor. And he's in. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. A great effort there. With 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Steelers are going to add on to their lead. And this one through the uprights and good. Boswell on now to kick this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. And time for us to spotlight Doug Baldwin. Hasn't had his best day to this point here in the second quarter, and they're losing. You got to think, though, that also means that maybe the defense doing a good job on him. There's 2 sides to that coin.
I would agree, so you have to give them credit, but that means you've got to find a way to beat that defense and make sure one of your top playmakers touches the football and has an impact on the game. Change formations, change where he lines up, put him in motion. Anything possible to shake him free.
Maybe that greater impact comes here on this drive. On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now. The tight end, Luke Wilson, was the target. And now it's 2nd down. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They look lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
It's caught on the left side by Baldwin. A good pick up there of 20 yards.
I don't care how many times you tell the story, it never loses its luster for me. Doug Baldwin, undrafted out of Stanford, and plays like a #1 receiver should in the NFL. I don't care how you cover him. I don't care that his size isn't great. He's the one that typically comes up with the football.
Absolutely. His roots go all the way back to Gulf Breeze, Florida, where he's from, right on the water near Pensacola, and then, of course, to Stanford, and, boy, he's been good.
Face mask. Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
So we've reached halftime here with the visiting Steelers out in front, as we will send you eastward to Orlando and Larry Ridley. He's standing by with our EA Sports halftime report. Take it away, Larry.
Okay, Brandon, thanks, and welcome everyone to our EA Sports halftime report. Let's get to the highlights. The Seahawks trail at home at halftime. The Steelers will want to come out after the half and really put the pressure on from the start. All right, let's get it going. Here's the first half highlights. 3rd and long. The pass ends up being picked off. Davis is happy to come away with the pick and end the drive. After the pick, offense comes out now. They run, and it's James Conner finding some space. And he'll go in from 2 yards out as they take a 7-0 lead. Midway through the second quarter, McDonald's going to haul in the pass, and he caps off the 6-play drive with the score. That puts them up by 2 touchdowns. Now waiting seconds of the half. Connor's going to take off here, and he'll take it in for the touch. Steelers lead balloons to 21. Final seconds of the half. Baldwin's found on the quick pass, and he ends up at midfield before he's stopped on the play. So that'll do it from here in Orlando. For the second half kickoff, let's get you back up to Seattle and Brandon Guy.
Fielded about a yard deep. And the Seahawks get ready to trot out on the field. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for him. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's third down.
Oh, I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Yeah, live to fight another down, right?
Complete. Richardson has it. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. He'll get about 3 as he's brought down right around the 42.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. On second down, here's Wilson. Drops it underneath for Rawls. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. So Rawls appears to be shaken up. He remains down. We'll check on his status when we get back. Now the offense lining up 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Wilson. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Wilson. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. Call it a gain of 3, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. A short gain there of just 4, and that'll bring up a 4th down.
They dialed up the screen pass on 3rd down, and for a second it looked like it was all going to come together, and they had a chance to pick up a 1st down, but the defense got there and finished it off.
Still just the 3rd quarter, but they've got to make something happen. I think they know that. They're going for it on 4th. They'll try and throw for it with Wilson. Going right side here, and that's complete. The decision to go for it pays off, and now they're set up 1st and goal.
And they pick up the 1st down on a 4th down play. I don't know if the defense relaxed because they thought maybe they'd stopped them on 3rd down, or if they just didn't protect the sticks very well. But, boy, that's a big-time pickup right there.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And they're going to get to him. A sack. Sacked back at the 9-yard line. Stephon Tuitt in there to get him for his 2nd sack of the night. A rough couple of weeks for the man under center. 5 sacks last week, 4 now this week. Do you try to design some quicker developing plays if you're an offensive coordinator?
I think you do that. I think you also change his launch point at times. In other words, move your pocket to the right, to the left, roll him out, bootleg him. Do some different things so they can't just rely on the fact that he's going to take 3 to 5 steps back in the pocket and line up and throw the football.
That current formula is not working right now.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
They'll come out in the pistol. Play clock winding down. Again, we'll see the pistol here. And it's a Seattle Seahawks touchdown. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the 3rd quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there's an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency yet relaxed enough to get it done.
So that drive, 12 plays in length, and it ends with a 3-yard scoring run. Folk out there now to kick this one off. This will be fielded at the 8. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. After the long touchdown drive we just saw, you wonder if maybe that's taken a little of the wind out of this offense's sails, because they had it going pretty good last time, too.
Had to sit over there for a little while, didn't they? You know, they were eager, amped up to get back out on the field after just scoring, hoping to get the ball back quickly. That didn't happen, so I'd say come out, just kind of get started again. You know, doesn't have to be anything dramatic. Just get moving, get loose again, and see if they can get it downfield.
Again, it's Hyde, and he'll get about 4 across the 30 to the 32.
Third quarter, and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
And the Steelers on third down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This will be 3rd and 6. To throw here, Roethlisberger. And he finds McDonald. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving. Laundry on the field. This is going to be a false start on the offense.
Sometimes you have to slow things down a little bit when things get heated. The cadence has to be slow and deliberate at times to make sure your team's ready to go.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5. The penalty, it's Hyde. And the ball's out. Hyde fumbled it. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line.
All these years we've been watching the game, I start to get the sense that whenever it rains out, those guys who have to touch the ball and carry it, they're extremely resentful about that weather.
Yeah, I'm just happy I'm not resentful that we have a roof over our heads. I know that much.
Yeah, maybe we won't fumble our play sheets here as we just saw the fumble happen on the field.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go, because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Going to Rawls on the dump off. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. It'll be a gain of 4, and that's going to make it 4th down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
They're going on 4th down. It's Wilson. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's going to get the first down here as he's taken down at the 22.
Well, the field goal attempt was well in hand. They had that, but they decided to go for it anyway. Extreme confidence, it looks like.
Yeah, but I bet the defense is going to remember this one, right? They kind of rubbed their nose in it. First down, this is Rawls. He's to the 10, and he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. A solid pickup of 13 sets him up 1st and goal.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of the yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
And after the good game last... On 2nd down, Wilson. This will be caught at about the 6. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. They'll wind up getting 7 on the completion, but they'll still be faced now with a 3rd and goal situation. They got to have 6 here. It's 3rd and goal. Here's Wilson. This will be caught at about the 5. A great job to hold him to just a yard there. Now it's 4th and goal.
So many things have to come together just right for a screen pass to break for big yardage. The blocking, the timing of the pass to the runner, everything has to fit together just right. But on that play, the defense was able to disrupt things and hold it to a short game.
All right, so you needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal then maybe not exactly what they wanted, but it's a necessary first step.
Still plenty of time remaining, but you could really use a stop defensively after the kickoff, preferably a 3 and out.
That's fielded in the end zone. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And last drive, obviously not what you're looking for. You've got the lead. You got to protect the football.
So in other words, someone got lucky because they've been moving the ball really well and wearing them down. In this case, though, giving up the football doesn't make them very happy. They can't wait to get back out there and atone for it.
Yeah, try to atone for it here on this drive.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. 2nd and 10. It's Roethlisberger once more. Over the middle here to Brown. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Roethlisberger now off the bootleg. And this is going to be incomplete.
Perhaps they overthought this one a little bit. They've been running it real well on this drive, and it was 3rd and short, okay? They decided to throw the football incomplete. Yeah, they might have thought just a little bit too hard about that play selection.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Fielded just inside the 20. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And out will come the offense as they take over. On 1st down, Wilson. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. Call it a 3-yard gain, and that'll make it 2nd down.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a 1-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. Now Wilson on 2nd down. They set up the screen to Rawls. And, he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a 1st down.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Well, when you're leading in the 4th quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
They'll throw on 1st down with Wilson. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and it'll bring up a 2nd down. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make someone miss in the open field. For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
And he's taken to the ground, but he was pulled down by the face mask. Here come the flags. And I believe this is going to be a 1st down.
Face mask. Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
They go play action here on first down. Rolling to his right. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's second down.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
There's Wilson to throw. And he rifles one incomplete.
Well, he'll definitely say that that's one he should have held on to. But when you're playing in elements like this, sometimes those bullet passes, those ones with a little bit of pace on them, they can be difficult to hold on to.
And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. Now Wilson. There's Baldwin. Touchdown, Seattle. Doug Baldwin, his second touchdown on the season. And the Seahawks, a 2-point conversion away from tying the game. Here we go now as we get set for a big 2-point conversion. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. And he's got it. The conversion good, and we are tied in the fourth. Still time to work with on the clock, but they wanted to tie now, and they got it.
And I love their aggressiveness. Go ahead and get it done, get the game tied. Now your team has the momentum, and you're staring across the field saying, let's see if you can match us.
That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Out comes the Steeler offense now, ready to see what they can do here. Both teams working on short rest, but this has been one of the better Thursday night games we've seen as they come up here on 1st and 10. There's Roethlisberger. And a quick throw here, that's complete. A gain of 6 there on first. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables, otherwise they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his. That one didn't quite make it to the target, but that's not always a function of the strength of the arm of the quarterback, is it? Sometimes there's just too much pressure there. In any case, the ball doesn't arrive.
From the gun on third down, it's Roethlisberger. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on third down.
Pass interference. Defense.
Antonio Brown can wreak havoc in so many ways. Here he's able to cause a PI penalty.
He runs at defensive backs with such speed and power. I think it creates panic on their end, and a lot of times they just reach out and grab him, and that's the result there, a pass interference call.
And he takes it across midfield to the 45. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
They run with Connor. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he struggles to get a yard here, maybe a yard, down to the 31.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
All right, here we go.
On second down, Hyde. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. Time for a break. We'll come back and see how it all shakes out after this. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. They've got it 1st and 10 as they search for a go-ahead score. Connor. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ballgame. It's already 2nd and 12. The defense hoping to push them back more. Again, left to Hyde. A big hit. Knocked down sideways at the 29. And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause in the action. A timeout here defensively. So 2 plays with only negative yardage to show, and now it's 3rd and 16. They run it again with Hyde. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe. And they have taken the lead here in the final 2 minutes. Now then, it's a big kick right there to give them the lead in the 4th. But, Charles, there is still time left for a final drive.
Brandon, you know they would have liked to take the clock down just a little bit further, at least under a minute or so. But this one's not over yet, especially since they just need a field goal.
And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Russell Wilson now gears up to lead the offense again. This is something we've seen many times over the course of his career. Can he pull off another 4th quarter comeback?
And it's very strange, isn't it? Because when it's a player of this magnitude, even though the guys on defense have the lead and are sitting in the best spot, they're maybe the most nervous people in the stadium because they've seen this happen to too many people before, too many teams. They've got to find a way to shut him down.
Here we go again for the grizzled vet. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. 7 yards there on the first down screen play. He's back to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
So they will accept the penalty and move forward. First down and 10 now for the offensive group. They'll look to throw. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. A gain of 4 on the play, and it'll make it a 2nd down. He'll look to throw. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in 1 game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
And nearly intercepted there. That would have been ball game if he had clinched it and caught it. Instead, it gives him one more chance here on 4th down. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on.
And, oh, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked up by Cameron Sutton. And they are going to set up shop.
Oh, it's going to hurt big time. You're in the 2-minute drill trying to get your guys down the field, and it's looking like they're going to come up just short, as this is definitely not his best throw. And it'll wind up being intercepted.
Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Are you one of those guys that's skeptical about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you took my advice. Get your notes laminated, because, you know, open-air booth, that rain can affect us as well, although not as much as the guys on the field. But let's face it, it's kind of fun to watch these types of games, isn't it?
It is. By the way, how impressive is it that you travel with a laminator? I didn't even know there was a portable laminator.
The things that you learn.
Golly, wise beyond his years. So for Pittsburgh, it took a few weeks, but they finally get their first one of the season here in Week 4. And now they'll get the weekend off as they get a little extra time to prepare to face the Baltimore Ravens. Meanwhile, for the Seahawks, the defeat is their first of the year as they drop to 3-1. And they'll look to regroup next week as they head to L.A. to take on the Rams. That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on